Sean Bentley.
Hey, what's up, CFO gang? It's your boy J Tuck, Cowboys Up, back with another Cowboys fans only episode. So you guys know the drill by now, but if you're new, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, somewhere down there. And I want to take a quick second, everyone, to say happy holidays to everyone out there. I hope everyone, 2020 has been a very sporadic, up and down, emotional year. But I hope everyone's just taking this time to reflect, rejoice, spend time with your family, be thankful for the things that you have, not the things that you don't have, and definitely cherish what you have right now with your family, man. Just take a second to appreciate that. And what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to take a second to appreciate each and every one of you. So we're going to do a $50 giveaway, because everyone who signed up, now if you missed out on my video that I posted the other day about the giveaway, I'm sorry, it's too late. But for everyone who signed up and registered, we are going to do a $50 giveaway to the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop, so definitely stay tuned. We're going to have a CFO Christmas party, man, so I appreciate everyone in the chat. And then also, everyone, I want to say thank you for the prayers and well wishes. I'm going right now through this virus that has impacted lots of people this year, but I'm feeling strong, feel like myself, man, so I'm getting through it. I'm fighting through it, so thank you to everyone who's kept me in their prayers and well wishes. I definitely appreciate that. But we're going to get into it. So Cowboys fam, last Sunday, we're coming off a win, right? We're coming off a win versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm going to be honest, y'all, I am still feeling optimistic about this season. Tuck, you're tripping, bro. Tuck, what are you doing? The season's over. No, not yet. I'm still feeling very optimistic about what remains for this season. We're going to dive into it. But I want to kind of go into what I saw this past Sunday, right? What I saw this past Sunday is I saw energy, I saw effort, I saw enthusiasm, and I saw fight with this Dallas Cowboys team, man. And that's what I've been asking for. Now, granted, it's just the Cincinnati Bengals, and shouts out to my guy, Nix. I see you. Please put us out of our misery. Not yet, man. Not yet, because like I said, what we saw this past Sunday, man, you want to be able to build off of this. And if you follow me on Twitter at JTuck151, right, you don't want to establish a losing culture. So anytime you have the opportunity to win a football game, you go out there and you put your best foot forward. A lot of us in this chat, myself included, we've played the game of football, right? And what do you have to understand? Football isn't like the game of basketball, right? You can't go out there and just halfway through a football game because you are putting your life on the line every time you take that field. And not only are you putting your life at line in jeopardy, you're putting your teammates' life at line and at risk as well. So you don't want to be that player who's out there just half-assing it, and all of a sudden you blow your assignment, and then your quarterback gets hit and he, tears an ACL because you're not focusing on doing your job. And so when it comes to the sport of football, there's always this aspect of competition. It's just the way it is. We saw last night the Los Angeles Chargers, right? They had no reason to compete and try to win that ball game last night. But they went out there and they won that ball game, man. So I'm feeling for the Dallas Cowboys, what they need to do is continue to win or continue to play hard, build off what they showed against Cincinnati, and let some of these young guys get these reps and get the opportunity to win. So, as you saw by the title, I said playoffs, right? Right now, yes, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gents, the Dallas Cowboys are now officially in the playoffs. This is playoff football. You lose, your season is over, right? Right. If we lose one game, one slip up, our season is over. Now, we do have to have a few other things work in our favor. Washington's going to have to lose out, and there's different strings to pull, but we can't focus on that. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys' main focus is if you continue to win, you get to play more games. But as soon as you lose, your season's pretty much over. So it's now a playoff mindset with a lot of these young players. And we go back and we talk about this offensive line, right? We've had injury after injury. Brandon Knight comes out. Cam Irving, we lose Zach Martin, Lyle Collins didn't even play this year, so we had Terrence Steele for predominantly the rest of the year. This is a great opportunity for these guys to continue to get these reps to build on to our depth that we're talking about for next year. Because you think about it, even though I've been very hard on Terrence Steele, and we all have been on this channel, right? He has pretty much got a full season as an undrafted free agent as a full starting right tackle in the NFL level. So coming into next year, which we'll talk about, we have all offseason to talk about that. The huge question mark when it comes to Lyle Collins is, will he be fully healthy with this hip injury, right? So if not, Terrence Steele now has this season under his belt to be able to add depth and give Mike McCarthy and the staff some type of confidence. Also with Brandon Knight, also with Connor McGovern, and some of these players we've wanted to see for so long. Now the question will be, on Sunday, will Tyler Biadasz start over Joe Looney? I think they will maintain with Joe Looney. But getting these players reps is more important than draft position, tanking, Twitter takes, all the things that a lot of people are chasing after for the Dallas Cowboys team right now. Getting these reps, getting this playoff type atmosphere for a lot of these young players is going to go a lot further than these draft picks and different things that a lot of people are wanting to do this year. Because you think about it, CeeDee Lamb is now getting playoff reps. Trayvon Diggs, which we'll speak about here shortly, is going to get playoff reps. A lot of these young guys are now being tossed in the fire into important football. And so hopefully this team will be able to build off what we saw versus Cincinnati. Because like I said, even though Cincinnati had a few turnovers, especially early, I like the enthusiasm when it comes to this team that I saw on Sunday. I like the camaraderie. Finally, it finally felt like on the defensive side of the ball, right? It really felt like for the first time, the defense was actually having some type of fun out there, right? It really, like, they were flying around, they were flying to the ball, and sometimes you kind of need those, I call them slump busters, and if you slump buster type games where you can get some momentum, and I feel like that's what we saw Sunday. Now, hopefully, like I said, the Cowboys will build off of that. We don't revert back to what we saw versus, the Ravens and, all these other games versus Washington. Hopefully they can find some momentum because we are going to play one of the most creative and efficient run games in the San Francisco 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. So, hopefully this team will be prepared to play. So I'm going to holler at the chat, man. What's up, everybody in the chat? Like I said, we're going to do the giveaway here soon. But, it's just like Christmas. We got kids on Christmas. You can't just open up the gifts right off the bat, man. I got to simmer down with the family a little bit before we open the gifts. Shouts out to my guy, West Coast, man. What's up, bro? Said the beat is fire. Appreciate it. Jeepers Creepers, what's up, bro? My guy, Nix, what's up, man? We're gonna have some fun this weekend. Moving in Chains, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Moving in Chains. Also, guys, go check out her articles, man. She's a dope writer when it comes to this Dallas Cowboys content. We're definitely going to have her on the show here soon as well. So definitely check her out. My guy, Carlito Montana, what's up, bro? Mendoza, what's good, man? We got to talk about my nose, man, because a lot of people got our nose on their mock draft. So we got all summer to talk about that. Let's see what Moving in Chains just said. So I started the season thinking we would be adding depth, but I haven't seen any improvement out so many of them. So asking myself, did we really add depth or just have a bad season? That's a great question. And it really depends on what situation are you looking at and what aspect are you really looking at. So on the defensive side of the ball, did we really add depth? I would say no, besides the interior. I think, getting Neville Gallimore, getting those reps. We know what Randy Gregory is. We know what DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be. So I feel like for Neville Gallimore, it was important for him to get those reps. And I feel like he would have been one of the odd men out, especially if Tristan Hill was playing. So I think we added depth on the defensive line. Now, linebacker, we didn't see Thomas. We didn't see Gilford. Like these players on the linebackers per se, we didn't add much depth there. Now, I will say this. In the secondary, though, we did finally have Donovan Wilson get out there and play. And we did see, shouts out to my guy, SoFlo. He hates this guy, Darian Thompson. But Darian Thompson got reps. So we're seeing a lot of these new guys in the secondary actually get more playing time than they probably would have in a typical season. So I think we're adding depth. It really comes down to this offseason, guys, is finding out what does this defense look like under the Mike McCarthy regime. And we might as well get over to it because I'm going to talk about it here. But there's a lot of talks about Mike Nolan being one and done, which we've all kind of hoped for, right? So the question I ask, if we move on from Mike Nolan, are we going to transition from a 3-4 identity, right? Which is what Mike McCarthy's defenses typically are. They're typically a 3-4 structure, right? Or will we say more of a 4-3, right? And here's the thing, when it comes to it, that's what we have to find out when it comes down to this Dallas Cowboys team if we're moving on from Mike Nolan, right? Are we going to be a 3-4 team scheme or will we be more of a 4-3? Now, if we're going to transition to a 3-4, like, you know what, Mike McCarthy says, you know what, we're going to be a 3-4 team moving forward. It is what it is. That's what I like. That's what we're going to run. Then we are a lot further from the goalposts than we need to be right now. Because currently right now, when it comes to our scheme, there's probably 3 to 4 players that I think fit the 3-4 mode. Aldon Smith, he fits that 3-4 mode. I would say Randy Gregory fits that 3-4 mode. LVE fits the 3-4 mode. You would have to probably use Bradley or not, which we haven't seen. All right. DeMarcus Lawrence, he doesn't come out to 3-4 guy when I look at him. Still at this point. Now, I will say this. DeMarcus Lawrence has received a lot of criticism, not by me, but for a lot of Cowboys fans. He has played solid throughout this season, throughout all the turmoil, right? DeMarcus Lawrence has played solid this season. I don't think he's a 3-4 guy. I think he earns his money in a 4-3 scheme. But I think if he has to adjust, he can make that adjustment moving forward. So I feel like if we're going to get rid of Mike Nolan, and I know a lot of people, I saw Brian Broaddus come out and say, maybe it's going to be an internal hire for George Edwards and I'm kind of up in the air with that. Not that I don't think that Edwards is a solid candidate, but the reason why I'm kind of worried about Edwards is because you're in house right now, right? You are the linebacker coach right now. And your linebacker core, if we all can agree, hasn't been playing well. I'm gonna be honest with you. Jalen Smith hasn't played well, even though Van Der Esch has had injuries. He hasn't looked well. So it's really like, how much input have you given this season, and will you be able to provide moving forward? Now, if you bring in Edwards and you say, you know what, let him bring in all of his guys, his entire staff, his different ideology with this team, okay. But from what I'm seeing from the linebacker core and what Edwards has done, there doesn't give me much hope with him becoming the defensive coordinator. Me personally, I would like to look outside of Dallas, find a young, energetic guy, the Sean McVay of defenses, right? Who is that guy out there that can come in, bring some creativity, but also light a fire under this defensive core that we have, and add additional players via draft and free agency, which we have all summer to speak about. So I feel like, y'all, that's the most important piece when it comes to this defense. If we're going to move on from Mike Nolan, what will we be moving forward? Like I said, if we're going to come back and be a 4-3, then yeah, a 4-3, I think we are a lot closer to being more of a dominant and getting back to what we're accustomed to. Now, granted, last year, it wasn't like we were the Baltimore Ravens, right? We wasn't the Tennessee Titans, right? But our defense was at least, middle of the road. And with the offense weapons that we have, that's all we need. We just need a top 10, top 15 defense, and Dak Prescott and his offense, I promise you guys, will take care of the rest. But you cannot have, even with this explosive offense, giving up, 200, 300 rushing yards a game to no names out there, also being horrible in the passing defense. You really can't. We can't score 40 and try to hold teams to 40. It's just not a winning formula in the NFL. And we were speaking about that on Twitter. But I feel like moving forward, let's find these guys on defense, really find out what their identity is going to be, and really get these guys in that can make a difference. But we have all offseason for that. So speaking of defense, so Trayvon Diggs will return. He's going to return. I think he's going to give things a go. Also, Donovan Wilson will be back. Anthony Brown will be back. And so that lets me know that the Dallas Cowboys right now are still trying to win ball games. If you're going to bring in your young rookie corner back from injury and have him play Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys are still committed to winning at all costs. I even see the things, even Ezekiel Elliott has been out limited a little bit in practice. He hasn't practiced the last 2 days, but I think he's still going to try to give it a go. So right now, I believe in that locker room, the Dallas Cowboys are focused on winning this game Sunday, which as a Cowboys fan, I'm definitely all for, because we all know in preseason, Mike McCarthy said everything that we do will be about winning. So let's get into this comment though. Jalen Smith swipe game, clear eye view, right? And so a lot of people were bagging Jalen Smith, self included, for saying this comment about Jerry Jones. And what it really comes down to is that Jalen Smith just found out, I believe it was yesterday, right, that the game has been flexed. It's not a Sunday night game. It's now a noon game. And so yesterday was Thursday. You didn't even know what time the game was. And so they asked him about these questions. How does it feel about being flexed out from prime time? Now, I will say this, right? And granted, I have a lot of Browns fans and different types of fans that follow me. Flexing the game, the Cowboys and the 49ers, for the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants doesn't make sense. It makes zero sense, because even as bad as the Dallas Cowboys are this season, and even though we don't have Dak Prescott and whatnot, and the 49ers are limited, I know they don't have their quarterback and they have a lot of injuries, Nick Bosa or whatnot is out. The 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, regardless of the situation, will always be a key rivalry for the NFL. And so for them to flex this game, it really didn't make much sense to me from a business standpoint, because even if you think about it, y'all, I feel like the game Sunday, when we play the 49ers, it's still going to be a higher rated game than that Sunday night game. I would pretty much guarantee it. And so it's not like the Browns and the Giants have this star power. It's not the Chiefs or whatnot. So I don't understand the ideology around it. What was the mindset? What was the NFL thinking? But it is what it is. So Jalen Smith said, as long as Jerry Jones isn't tripping, he's not tripping. And so I get what Jalen Smith was trying to say. But Xavier Woods, DeMarcus Lawrence, Jalen Smith, you can't say that publicly. Like, you really just can't. You can think it, but don't say it, because it gives off the sentiment is that you're not aware of what's going on and that you're really not tripping on this season. Because if you're saying the owner's not tripping about being flexed, you're not tripping. And so people start to have this mindset that you're thinking that about the same thing applies for the season. So you can't say it publicly, Jalen Smith. You got to be smarter than that. And when it comes to Jalen Smith, he has taken on the brunt of a lot of criticism this year, right? And so I feel like it's really in Jalen Smith's best situation is to be a lot smarter, because I honestly, y'all, I don't know if he will be returning next year as a Dallas Cowboy. Now, here's the one thing that saves Jalen Smith, and I'll say this. Statistics. Jalen Smith will always be a statistically high guy. And so I feel like that kind of gives the Cowboys leverage to say, you know what, even though he makes mistake, mental error, he's in the wrong gap, he's all over the place. Well, he's still one of the top in the NFLs in tackles, so it makes sense for the Dallas Cowboys. And I feel like that's his safety net, is statistically, Jalen Smith is one of those Cowboys players that you look at on the stat sheet at the end of the year and be like, oh, okay. Because even when I was going through the Pro Bowl voting, and yes, y'all, I voted for a few Cowboys players for the Pro Bowl, I was looking at Jalen Smith's numbers compared to other middle linebackers, and I was like, well, he does have a case, but watching him Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, nah, he's just not that guy. So the future of the right tackle position. So this was something I mentioned earlier, y'all. This is one of my biggest concerns because, like I said, I haven't heard much about La'el Collins and his progress. Has anyone, let me know in the chat if y'all heard anything about La'el Collins, but I haven't heard much about La'el Collins and his progress, and we've all known, we've seen it. You even go to the NBA. I mean, the hip injuries, that is something not to take lightly, especially for a right tackle. Like, you need your hips, right? And so I feel like if La'el Collins isn't able to go, and y'all let me know what y'all think, do we just make Zach Martin the right tackle moving forward, and then we stick with Connor McGovern at right guard like we currently were trying to do before Zach Martin went down? Or do you think Terrence Steele would get the nod moving forward as the starting right tackle of the Dallas Cowboys? So that's really concerns me. But I know a lot of people were bagging me on Twitter, bagging me on Twitter because I wasn't speaking about, the offensive side of the ball, right? The offensive side of the ball. I feel like the focus, when it really comes down to things, they said I'm buffering, but we good. We still good? Yeah. On the offensive side of the ball, I feel like our concern should be defensively focused. Nothing else, especially when it comes to this draft, when it comes to how we move in free agency. It should be strictly focused on the defensive side of the ball, right? And then lastly, Jerry Jones had some comments about him possibly firing himself. Now, we all know, Cowboys fam, that ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. Jerry Jones will never fire himself as the general manager. And I know there's been a lot of talks, right? It's been a lot of talks about maybe we could, bring in, Troy Aikman as the general manager, or, Darren Woodson had a lot of things to say about the Dallas Cowboys and how their lack of effort. Darren Woodson would be a great candidate. Y'all, it's never going to happen where Jerry Jones is going to unselfishly say, you know what, I cannot handle this team. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a football guy, even though my winning record as a GM is one of the top worst in the NFL. I am never going to allow someone to say that I cannot do this job. Jerry Jones' ego is far too big for that to ever happen. So it sounds good, Jerry, but you're going to fire yourself and move forward and whatnot. But we all know that will never be the case in Dallas, y'all. So I would give up on the whole ideal of Jerry Jones, firing himself, hiring a new GM, because it just ain't gonna happen. So let's hop in the chat before we do this giveaway. Nothing on Collins. I think we draft the offensive tackle high and spend the rest on defense. Anyone but still, literally anyone. Hell, I can do it. Right. You know, my guy Nick's, man, my guy Nick's been trying to play offensive tackle for us for quite some time, man. So I feel like we really have to address that right tackle position, moving forward. But yeah, wouldn't be surprised if Law misses preseason, the beginning of the regular season. Yeah, and like I said, I've heard zero when it comes to recovery time with La'el Collins. I'm not sure where he stands in his progress. Granted, even before the hip injury, he came into camp kind of out of shape or whatnot. And so, La'el Collins might be a scratch moving forward when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys team. So that's why it's really important to find out who was going to be that solution moving forward when it comes to that right tackle position. My guy Uber, what's up, bro? He said Steele is awful. Now, I will say this, right? I'm not a huge fan when it comes to Terrence Steele, but I will say this. Terrence Steele has played better. He's played better than what he started off as, but he's still not the long-term answer. But letting him get these reps and getting him accustomed to playing throughout a full NFL season pretty much, I think he's missed like 1 to 2 games, is probably going to be able to add a little bit of depth for him when it comes to that right tackle position. If it's up to me, I'm trying to find a swing tackle. Maybe I'm moving Brandon Knight over there, or maybe even moving, Zach Martin out there permanently. But we'll see. I think we have a lot of decisions to be made when it comes to how we're going to handle this personnel this offseason. So I'm really curious to see what Mike McCarthy does moving forward. So let's get into it. So I know you guys been waiting for this giveaway. So we have the giveaway. So here's what you had to do to get in the giveaway. It's too late. It's shut. It's closed. It's closed out. Right. You had to go comment on the giveaway video that I posted Monday, Tuesday, or whatnot. You had to comment and hashtag CFO Christmas. So the list of people is all the people who entered before now. So don't run over there. I mean, if you want to, go ahead, run over there, but it's too late. So this is for all the people who entered for the giveaway. And so like I said, y'all, this is my token of appreciation for you guys. I want to say thank you for always supporting me, man. This channel has grown tremendously in just a short amount of time. The funny thing, when I started this channel, it was like 20 subscribers, and pretty much it was just like my children. Like, they were following me from different accounts or whatnot. So I definitely appreciate all the support, man. You guys keep me going. You keep me motivated to do more, and we're going to continue to do a lot more. But now is my time to give back to you. So we are going to do a $50 giveaway to Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop to one lucky subscriber. So we got to get in the Christmas spirit. So let's play a little Christmas music. Hold on. Let's see what I got here. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see if we can hear a little Christmas music. Get in the cheerful mood. But like I said, I want everyone to have a very holiday. Appreciate the people that's around you, what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have, man. Cherish your family. Hold them tight. Don't take nothing for granted. So let's go ahead and get into it. Good luck. Good luck. Here we go. It looks like Shanda. Shouts out to my girl, Shanda Jones. Shouts out to my girl, Shanda. She's been a subscriber for quite some time. She's always hit me up on Twitter, and she's like, Tuck, pick me, Tuck, pick me. So shouts out to Shanda. You have now won a $50 gift card from me to the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop. And so, like I said, I appreciate all your support and for supporting me. But let's do this, though. Hold on. Let's do this. I'm in a giving mood. And the Dallas Cowboys really hasn't given us much to cheer about this year. So let's run it back. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do another $50 giveaway to the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop from Christmas, man. So we're going to run it back. One more spin. Got your fingers crossed. I see Jeepers Creepers in there. I see everyone's excited about winning this giveaway. And so let's do it one more time. I'm going to do 2 cards. So one for Shanda and then one more lucky winner. Let's see. Let's go. Wendy, congratulations, Wendy. She just won a giveaway. Now, here's the cool thing. Here's the crazy part about Wendy, right? Wendy just signed up. She hit me up on Twitter. She just signed up and entered, I would say, probably about 15 minutes ago. She subscribed. She commented, like, is it too late? I was like, nah, you can go ahead and get in. She jumped in the very last entry, so she just won. So congratulations to Shanda and also Wendy. So here's the thing, Cowboys fam. We will do this again once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So we gotta drive up the numbers. So hit those likes, hit those shares, get the numbers up. And once we hit 1,000 subscribers, then we gotta do a $100 giveaway. I think a $100 giveaway once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So we have some work to do, but get those likes, get those shares up, Cowboys fam, and we're definitely gonna hit those numbers. Like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for showing your support. You guys stick with me. You rock with me. I appreciate you guys. Also, like I said, we got a lot of work to do for this rest of this season. But here's where I stand, Cowboys fam. I feel like my guy Mo says, give her a shirt. Mose, you've already won. Shirt from the store, man. But we might do some more of that throughout the season. But we're gonna stick to the 2 gift cards, right? But how I'm feeling about this season moving forward, right? If I'm gonna be fully honest about it, I feel like the Cowboys win 2 more games, right? So I think we peak out at 6 wins. We don't make the playoffs, of course, but I feel like we see a lot more effort, a lot more fight in the remaining 3 games. One, I think we'll see it versus the 49ers. It's a home game. It'll be, versus, a rival. There's history. I think the Dallas Cowboys will come out and play. Now, when it comes to Sunday's matchup, y'all, as I mentioned, the 49ers aren't the 49ers that we saw last year in the Super Bowl. So let's get that out of our head, right? But the thing the 49ers do a great job at is the thing the Dallas Cowboys defense is horrible at, and which is what we all know, is stopping the run. So when it comes to how to handle the run, there's a lot of misdirections, right? So when there's a lot of misdirections in the run game, you have to focus on your keys, your assignments, right? And also, you have to trust your instincts and watch the ball, but also play your assignment. You have to play assignment-based football. And when it comes to our Dallas Cowboys defense, y'all, it scares the hell out of me. You have to have gap integrity with our defensive line. We don't have gap integrity. Our linebackers, they don't have the instincts to not be hit constantly with misdirections or whatnot. Now, that's just the running aspect of the ball game, right? You know, you have to take in consideration Brandon Ayuk and the wide receivers that they also have when it comes to this 49ers team. So they're really a balanced team, which the Dallas Cowboys defense thus far has struggled. We struggle against balance because what they're able to do is use that run game. You know, Raheem Mostert. Now, I will say this about Mostert. I do got him on my fantasy team. So if he happens to go off, he just happens to go off. Because Mostert, I really need you to go off. I mean, Keenan Allen killed me yesterday, and Julio Jones said, Mostert, I kind of need you to go off, bro, for your boy. But I will say this. It's like, yeah, they do have a dynamic run game, and also with Wilson Jr., so it's kind of a catchy situation. Now, offensively, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys can score. You know, their secondary isn't as strong as we're accustomed to. Granted, they still have Richard Sherman out there or whatnot. Their defensive front they're not healthy right now. So we are able to put up points and score. But here's the problem when it comes to this Dallas Cowboys team, y'all. I don't know which team I'm talking about. I don't know if the team from Cincinnati is going to show up. I'm not sure it's going to be the team from, you know, Baltimore is going to show up. I really do not know, right? But I feel like this Dallas Cowboys team is fully capable of winning this game and competing on Sunday, right? Now, if I had to guess, I don't know. And I'm going back and forth on this, man. I've gone back and forth on this because it's like we are the epitome of terrible, as Charles Barkley would say, when it comes to handling the run game. Our run defense is just pitiful at times. And like I said, I just don't know how long will we be able to last before we end up breaking when it comes to being able to run the ball. And I shot to my guy, Ralph. He said, it was good, y'all. Run the damn ball. Let's go. We need to be able to establish the run game our damn self. Right? Right? And so, like, we can't establish the run for the most part. Now, I've seen a lot of takes on this guy back here, Ezekiel Elliott, and I want to address this, right? I don't feel like Ezekiel Elliott is as big as a problem as a lot of fans are wanting to make him seem out to be. I feel like right now Ezekiel Elliott is the scapegoat because there's no more Dak Prescott to really take the brunt of it. So when it comes to offensively, you can't really blame CeeDee Lamb. You can't play Amari Cooper, who's played solid, right? You can't play, Michael Gallup, even though Michael Gallup's been kind of up and down. You really can't blame him. Andy Dalton's been playing the best of his capacity. So the focus when it comes to the offensive side of the ball has been purely on Ezekiel Elliott. So I don't want to say that I'm not one of those guys that we should trade on from Ezekiel Elliott. We should move on. But I'm really not sure if we should be running him into the ground right now. If he is limited with his calf injury, I'm perfectly fine with just seeing Tony Pollard go out there and putting the ball in Tony Pollard's hands and let him take the brunt of the carries for the rest of this season, because we have worn Ezekiel Elliott down tremendously from the moment he became a Dallas Cowboy. Why not just let him rest and say, you know what, when we come back next season, I want you fully refreshed, maybe a little bit thinner, maybe a little bit faster, and we're going to come back and we're going to take another run at this thing. But I feel like forcing Zeke out there with the calf injury, you just don't want to add more treads to the tires when that can be avoidable. So I would perfectly move on with Tony Pollard and really see what do you have in Tony Pollard, because eventually Mike McCarthy and the staff is going to have to make a decision. Like, what are we going to do with Tony Pollard and how are we going to utilize this guy? So I feel like right now is a great opportunity to kind of see what do you have in Tony Pollard. Can you give Tony Pollard 20 to 25 carries a game and really ride on his back? That still remains to be unseen. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Mostert's going to have a big game. I hope not, though. I need it. I need it, man. I need it. If we don't win, On 12/27, I have to change my Twitter name to Philly Notion is my daddy for 7 days. I really need. Ooh, moving the chains. No. Why would you make that bet? Why would you make that bet? That's too risky. Not right now. Not right now. It's too much risky of a bet. Let's see. Lisa, NFC East teams records are wild. Yeah, but here's what I've been saying, Lisa. I know a lot of people's been wanting to call the NFC East the NFC least, but I never felt like the NFC East was the worst division in football. And I've said that numerous times on this channel. I feel like right now the NFC East took a lot of things for granted. I feel like we're a dysfunctional division, but I really can't say we're the worst team because I honestly, y'all, and I get criticized for this a lot on Twitter. I really don't know what this team would be like if we had Dak Prescott. Now, if we were sitting here at 4-9 with Dak Prescott, y'all, I would be freaking out. I probably wouldn't be as happy and excited as I am and as cheerful as I am. But without our starting quarterback in Dak Prescott, it's really hard to evaluate what we really are. And because you think about it, are we the team that played the Los Angeles Rams? Are we the team that played decent versus Seattle? Are we the team that roared back versus the Browns or whatnot? Or are we the team that got dog walked versus Washington without Dak? So it's hard to really gauge it. So I don't want to say the NFC East is the NFC least. I feel like we're dysfunctional. Now, when it comes to Philadelphia, my biggest concern, and shouts out to my guy West Coast, because he predicted that on this channel, said when we play the Philadelphia Eagles for the next time, we will not be playing against Carson Wentz. And so Jalen Hurts was the quarterback, and I like Jalen Hurts. I watched him at OU. Yeah, I would prefer to be playing against Carson Wentz than Jalen Hurts. So, it's one of those things. It's like, damn it, I was really hoping that the Eagles would be delaying the transition from Carson Wentz to Jalen Hurts, but it feels like they're making that move. And I'll tell people like this. If there's Eagles fans, because a lot of Eagles fans watch my show, I don't see Jalen Hurts giving that job back to Carson Wentz. So unless it's going to be due to injury, I don't see Carson Wentz being the starter moving forward when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles because, one, we all know Eagles fans. They came off that win on Sunday. If Jalen Hurts plays decent this Sunday and they actually win or they're competitive, you can't go back to Carson Wentz. They will boo his head off, right? So I feel like Jalen Hurts will be the guy moving forward unless it's going to be due to injury. So the NFC East, the teams are getting better. Washington's getting better with the defensive front. And we knew Ron Rivera was going to always be competitive. Once the Washington football team's able to find out who's going to be their quarterback of the future, they have a lot of different pieces in place to really put things together. New York Giants are still working out their footing, but granted, Saquon Barkley was out, but their defenses play a lot better. So the NFC East is actually the division on the uprise. It used to be just a two-team division, but I think that's no longer. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive moving forward. So I've never been a fan of the NFC least thing. It's just injuries. Let's see here. Joe Tranchina, what's up, Cowboys Nation? Watching from Italy. Salute to you, bro. I appreciate you tuning in. That's the thing about Cowboys fans. We are worldwide. We really need to lose the America's team nickname because we're all over. I've been over to Thailand and around the world, and people see the Cowboys like, oh, you're a Cowboys fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. Me too. And I can damn near speak the language. That's how universal the Dallas Cowboys team is. Now, I will say this. It really is a gift and a curse because that's when Jerry Jones is really just focused on branding and not football. And I feel like in order for the Cowboys to get back to the level of success that we are accustomed to as Dallas Cowboys fans, we have to get back to football versus branding. The branding is always going to be there. Here's the thing. If we go to the playoffs, we're going to be there. If we go to the Super Bowl, we're going to play top dollar. If you win and do what you're supposed to do as a football team, Cowboys Nation, we will hold up our end of the bargain. I promise. I promise you. If we're going on a playoff run and we're in the NFC Championship game and the stadium is empty, Jerry, damn it, you can come find me personally, but that will never be the case. But it's time for the Dallas Cowboys to really start holding up their end of the bargain when it comes to this team. As far as being a business brand, but I'm talking about being a football team ran as a football organization. Yeah, the NFC East has more Super Bowls than any other division. Right. Wentz is dead. Hurts team now. Yep, I agree. Yeah, I don't think he's coming back. Go Cowboys, F high draft picks. Winning is the best pick. Yeah, shout out to my guy, the Lunatic. I appreciate you, bro. You've been one of the day one followers of this channel. But I agree. Here's the thing, y'all. We have all off season, and I vow to not do any draft talk on this channel until after our final game. But I will say this. When you look at this draft, right, there is nobody defensively that I see that I say, you know what? You get me that guy, we're going to the Super Bowl right now. You get me that guy on this defense right now, we're a playoff contender. There's nobody. There's nobody. You could talk about Surtain, or you could talk about Horn. You can talk about, Micah Parsons and all these different players, which we'll talk about all summer long. But there's no player that's going to have an instant impact. Now, let's backpedal. Let's backpedal, right? We're now in last year's draft. We're all getting ready for Vegas, right? And the same situation's going on. It's a little bit different story because, like I said, I had this whole conversation on Twitter today. Chase Young was one of those players we all knew soon as he stepped on the NFL field, he's going to be an all-pro caliber defensive player and he's going to change a lot. We knew that. It was a guaranteed can't miss pick, which Washington made, right? But with this draft, y'all, there is nobody out there that you can say is even comparable to a Chase Young type impact. There isn't. There isn't. I like Micah Parsons. I like Patrick Surtain. I like, Horn. I like some of these guys, Farley. But there's no way I can say it's like instant, right? Patrick Surtain, to me, he's not Jalen Ramsey. So that's why I'm like, this whole team tank logic, not with this draft. I just don't see it, y'all. I just don't see it. There's a lot of value of players that we can get in the second, third, and fourth round, which a lot of my nose and also Mendoza's nose will be. We can get these guys later down the road. Right now, the most important thing is to establish a winning culture and making sure these young guys get more reps at a high level. That's the most important thing, right? Me seeing CeeDee Lamb play in a playoff type environment is more important than any draft pick you can mock up for me right now. Period. But I don't think a lot of people see that. This is not the NBA, right? There's not like you can tank for LeBron. Do you honestly think that the New York Jets are going to take Trevor Lawrence and now they're going to be one of the most feared teams in the AFC? No. More than likely, the New York Jets will draft Trevor Lawrence, and the next year, they'll be right back in the top 3. I guarantee it. I would really guarantee money that the New York Jets will be a top 4 draft pick next year as well. And that's with Trevor Lawrence. Right? And so here's the thing, like I said, y'all, when it comes to NFL football, it's a competitive game. It's a blood sport. It's why we love it, man. It's a battlefield. These players are not going to go out there and lay down for your draft pick because a lot of these players also, they don't have guaranteed money. They're trying to earn their checks. Checks are light right now. I'm trying to go earn my money. If I'm in a contract year, I don't give a damn about no draft picks. I need to go earn my check, right? And so these players are going to come out there, they're coming to compete, they're coming to win. And I feel like for Mike McCarthy, if you really want to get over the 8-8 hump and really transition this team, it starts from the culture, y'all. It starts from the culture. And we want to establish a winning culture. And you don't want to put these young guys in the mindset where it's okay to lose. It's okay to lose. You know what, CD? It's okay to lose. At least we got Micah Parsons, bro. Live a little. Nah, that's just not how we're going to do things for Dallas because we're thinking bigger. We're moving forward. And that's really not the case. So that's why I never been a part of Team Tank. If you're going out there, go out there to compete. You go out there to compete. You come out there hungry. You come out there to win. And you let the chips fall. Now, we might come out there and play our hearts out on Sunday versus the 49ers, and we might get 40 balls. But as long as we come out there to compete, that's all I can ask for. Let's see here. What's going on? Chat. Cowboys Network. What's up, bro? These guys need momentum. We need to know what we can build on. Exactly. I agree. Momentum. We've all seen it. We've all seen it when you've played like the very last game, but you had some momentum. You take that and from that last game of the season into the offseason, you train differently, right? You prepare differently. You have something to kind of build off of. That's why Jason Garrett was always saying that 8-8 was a winning season, because technically it is a winning season. So you can kind of build off of that. Okay, don't, don't be too down on yourself, because there are some things to build off of. And I feel like that's the most important piece when it comes to this young core that we have with this Dallas Cowboys team, is to really build off of what we have and find some type of momentum. I feel like the best thing for this Dallas Cowboys team to be, imagine us, we come out, we beat the 49ers. We come out, we beat the Eagles. In the very last game, we beat the Giants, right? We go on a 3-game winning streak to end the season. That is some great momentum to go into this offseason. So now you're thinking about, okay, we lost our quarterback, right? We had some, up and down season. We had a lot of different changes, a lot of injuries, and we still won 7 games. And we ended the season with the 3-game winning streak. Oh, when we get Dak back? Oh, when we get Blake Jarwin back? Oh, when we get Tyron Smith back? Oh, when we get Tristan Hill back? It's a wrap. And so that's the mindset you want these players coming into the offseason. Not, damn, bro, we got 40 balled every game. I'm not even sure what's going to happen. We was trash. You don't want that. So you want to find some type of momentum, and winning ball games is the only way you can do it. Yeah, Jets gave away many players this year. So I'll say this, Mo, about the Jets, right? So even though the Jets, from an organizational standpoint, has changed, they got rid of Jamal Adams, they were trying to get rid of Quentin Williams and do a lot of these things and move different pieces of stockpile draft picks, the Jets have been competitive in a few games. They weren't just laying down, getting 40 balled and just half-assing it out there. They have still been competitive in some of these games, And so even with the players that you've had, the Jets have still been semi-competitive to the best of their capability. Now, from an organizational standpoint, some of the pieces that they moved, it lets you know that they're preparing for the future. But as far from the players that are out there on the field Sunday after Sunday, they have been competitive. And a lot of people talk about the Jets. They forget the Jets beat us last year with Dak Prescott. So the Jets do have some pieces in play, but, I feel like from the player's standpoint, if you're going out there, if you're putting on the pads, the helmet, you're going out there to fully compete. We need to get the culture first. We need some real leaders. Yeah, and I feel like, let me ask you guys this, right? Dak Prescott has been down. Defensively, who is our leader? Who can we really lean on when things get tough defensively, right? I feel like DeMarcus Lawrence is kind of that guy. Sean Lee of the past has been that guy. But we really need more dogs in the kennel, period. And I feel that, and I've been saying that for quite some time, y'all. And I've been saying that we need more dogs in the kennel when it comes to this Dallas Cowboys team. And it's not that you really have to have, all these, bad type of players, but it comes with all this baggage. Granted, there's the Earl Thomases out there, but you need some of that, right? You need some tenacity. You need some effort, some I don't give a out there. And I feel like with this team, especially on the defensive side of the ball, you really don't see that. If you go, and I spoke about this on Twitter, you go back to the Doomsday defense, and those type of guys, and Too Tall Jones, and Bob Lilly, those type of guys, and then you go to Charles Haley. The Dallas Cowboys had defensive players that, even if you're not a Cowboys fan, you just hated them, right? I just don't like that guy. Charles Haley was an arrogant, psycho jackass, right? But he was a beast. But when you look at this Dallas Cowboys defense, who is really the face of it? If you're an offensive team, you're the 49ers, and you look across the field, you see this Dallas Cowboys defense, who are you really afraid of? DeMarcus Lawrence, okay, he'll make a few plays in there, but he can really be neutralized. There's nobody in the secondary. That can say, you know what? Hey, we cannot throw his way because he can take that pick six, and take that and turn to the house with the click of a switch. So we got to be careful. There's nobody out there like that. Linebacker core, nope. Nobody out there like that. So you really have DeMarcus Lawrence on an island by himself, and he can really be neutralized. And so we really need to get these players. And I said this about Kansas City. Kansas City was kind of floating, right? Then they got Chris Jones, right? Then they got Frank Clark. And then they got Tyrann Mathieu. And then you said to say, oh, okay, damn, right? They really had some dogs out there who we have to be conscious of at all times, right? And so I feel like where the Dallas Cowboys need to go, we need to find a way. And I saw someone posting in chat, we need some vets out there, right? We need some vets. Yeah, and I feel like here's the hard part, and we're going to talk about this, y'all. But when it comes to a lot of these vets, I just don't see Stephen Jones reaching into his wallet and saying, you know what, Justin Simmons, let's go. I just don't see it. I really don't. Stephen Jones is trying to turn water into wine by getting these low bargain players, and hopefully something happens, right? Maybe I can bring in a Dontari Poe, and maybe he can reemerge to what he was, 8 years ago in Kansas City, right? Maybe I can bring in an Everson Griffin, right? Maybe I can bring in a Dale Worley. Maybe I can bring in a Brandon Carr, and he can have a resurgence of himself from when he played in his prime. That's the mentality that Stephen Jones has, and it's failed time after time. I posted a picture of Pac-Man Jones on Twitter. Jerry Jones' old mentality, as long as you really ain't hurt nobody that bad or do something too out of it, you can play. Hey, come in right now and help this team. And I feel like if Jerry Jones was still at the head of this team and it really wasn't the Steven era, Earl Thomas would have been on this team months ago, right? But we all have to understand this is a new regime, and the way that Stephen Jones is handling his team is a lot different. So when it comes to veteran free agency, I just don't see it happen. So when everyone wants to talk about, the Trevor Lawrence situation, or the Cowboys can move up and draft a quarterback, that allows the Dallas Cowboys to focus on defensive players. We had a quarterback, y'all, under a rookie deal. We did nothing with it. We did nothing with it. So I'm just not fully comfortable that if we were to draft a rookie quarterback, that this Dallas Cowboys team is actually going to put in the work and the bandwidth to rebuild this team the way it should be. So I'm out on it. Like I said, where I stand today is for the Dallas Cowboys to continue to win, continue to compete, continue to fight. So what's my prediction for Sunday's matchup, right? I feel like the Dallas Cowboys will play a close, competitive game, but they will fall short 27-24 to the 49ers, right? Which I can handle that. I can handle that. So if the Cowboys play a tough competitive game and they still fall short, I'm perfectly okay with that as long as they compete. So I have the 49ers winning 27-24, but I hope that I'm wrong, Cowboys fam. I hope the Cowboys come out, get a victory, continue some momentum, continue to push throughout the season, and get some momentum. So I appreciate each and every one of you for joining on. So we got a busy week. So tomorrow night, catch me with my guy Skywalker Steele. We're going to talk more Cowboys football. So definitely hit up my guy Skywalker. And then next week, we're going to bring in the Bear man, Mark Holmes. He's going to come on. I'm going to have a few Eagles fans come on, man. So we're going to do the damn thing. We're going to keep the ball rolling regardless if we win or lose, because we are here. And ultimately, Cowboys fans, we're going to get this thing figured out one way or another. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you're new to the channel, comment, like, subscribe, somewhere down there. Also, follow me on Twitter at jtuck151. Also, go to cowboysfansonly.com. Appreciate everyone who's supporting the merch. I'm going to start adding some more creations. I got some more ideas in my mind, so I'm definitely going to bring that to the forefront of the store. So definitely support that out. Subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell. But like I said, first and foremost, I want everyone to have a great holiday. Make sure you appreciate, your family. Spend time with your family, your loved ones. Just take a moment to kind of decompress. We've been through a lot this year. But definitely enjoy your holiday. So if I don't talk to you guys again before Christmas, everyone have a safe Merry Christmas, a blessed Merry Christmas, and everyone stay safe, stay blessed, stay